This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
Today, we're diving into a story that might just challenge some of your core beliefs about fairness, about sacrifice, and about what it means to be strong. It's a story of incredible devotion, a shocking betrayal, and, in the end, an amazing act of self-preservation. You know, this quote from our source material, it just gets right to the heart of it all. We all kind of grow up with this idea, don't we? That if you do something good, you get something good back. That sacrifice is supposed to be rewarded, but what happens when it isn't? What happens when that debt of devotion is just wiped clean? So to really understand this, we need to meet Nurul Shahzwani. Before her life became this public lesson in grace, she was just an ordinary person, living a life that would probably look pretty familiar to a lot of us. Her life was made up of all those simple, wonderful things. A home, a husband, laughter, and that quiet confidence you have when you're making plans for the future. But in 2018, in a single second, the time it takes for a car to crash, everything shattered. Her husband was left completely incapacitated, and her entire world just changed forever. And this is where the story really begins. What happened after that accident wasn't just a recovery period. No, it was a complete and total transformation of Nurul's whole existence. It was a 6-year journey into a level of sacrifice that's hard to even imagine. Her identity was just completely rewritten. She wasn't just a wife anymore. She had to become a full-time nurse, a mother, a night guard, and, I love this description from one source, an anchor for a sinking soul. She literally had to be everything all at the same time. And she did this for 6 years. Just think about that for a second. 6 years. That's more than 2,000 days of relentless, all-consuming care. It's a scale of devotion that, honestly, is kind of hard to wrap your head around. And we're not talking about some abstract idea of care. This was the grueling, intimate, hands-on work of keeping another human being alive, feeding him through a tube, bathing him, changing diapers. It was sleepless nights sitting next to a silent body. And, as the sources all note, she did it all with a heart that never complained. So in 2019, she started sharing parts of her days online. Now, this wasn't for attention or for pity. It was more like an outlet, a way to breathe, a way to connect with the world outside her home. And her quiet strength, it really resonated. An online community of over 32,000 people grew around her, watching her powerful journey in real time. And her followers, they weren't there for some fleeting internet trend. No, they were watching a profound truth unfold right in front of them. That real love isn't about big, grand declarations. It's found in the small, daily acts. It's what you do when it's hard, and especially when you think no one's watching. Now, at this point in the story, you're expecting a certain ending, aren't you? You're thinking he's gonna recover, he'll look at her, and that incredible sacrifice will finally be acknowledged. You're waiting for that Hollywood ending. Well, that is not what happened. After 6 years of her unwavering devotion, right as he started to get his movement back, the unthinkable happened. In October of 2024, he suddenly divorced her. And then, just 1 week later, he remarried. 6 years of her life's work just dismissed with a piece of paper? The public, those 32,000 followers who had been there for the whole journey, they were outraged. For them, this was the ultimate act of ingratitude. A shocking, unbelievable betrayal. But the real surprise of this story, the part that truly makes it unforgettable, it wasn't his action. It was hers. Let's take a look at how she responded to this profound injustice. I mean, everyone expected righteous anger, right? Public condemnation, a desire for revenge. But Nurul chose something else entirely. She went public, blessed his new marriage, and asked her followers not to attack him. In the face of that betrayal, she chose to protect her own peace. So why would she do this? It wasn't because the pain wasn't real. No, it was an act of profound self-preservation. She chose grace to preserve her own dignity, to be a role model for her son, and most importantly, to protect her own heart from being consumed by hatred. So what's the lesson here? What does Nurul's story teach all of us about giving, about sacrifice, and about our own inner worth? Let's break down some of the key takeaways. The core idea is really this. The true reward for a selfless act isn't the gratitude you get back. It's what that act reveals about your own character, your own strength, your own integrity. That is the real prize, and that's something no one can ever take away from you. And this brings us to the central moral of the whole story, a really powerful piece of wisdom. Be generous. Give freely, but never ever stake your own dignity or your self-worth on whether or not that good deed gets returned. So how can we actually apply this in our own lives? First, act by choice, not to create a debt. Second, set boundaries. Giving until you're empty leads to burnout, not virtue. Third, and this one is so important, control your reaction. Don't let your response to an injustice cause even more damage than the wrong itself. And finally, know your part. Learn to be able to say, you know what, I did my part. The rest is not my responsibility. And that really leaves us with this final, powerful question. In that moment, if you were faced with that level of betrayal, what choice would you make? Would you choose the path of revenge, which might feel good for a moment? Or would you make the harder, braver choice to protect and save your own soul? It's something we're thinking about.